Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are back again with another video talking about the whole Richard Embree leaves CG nonsense that is going on. I find it very interesting that when someone again wants to leave what's called CG, or what we now call new CG, because the old principles of what CG is about are pretty much dead in my opinion. Again, it is just my opinion. You don't need to get angry about it. It is just my opinion. I'm not stating this as a factual statement, so go off on yourself and go somewhere with it. But I do find it interesting how the whole grab and ore thing, it was all bullcrap. It is obviously coming out that it was indeed all bullcrap. It was a bullcrap nonsense made up by John Malin, of course. But it's interesting how it's all coming to light from Richard Embree just simply wanting to leave quietly by CG. We also have other things coming out like DMs from good old Fraude Tony to Richard Embree, which I will say right away, if you're going to sit there and complain and cry about someone sharing your DMs and then you go ahead and share DMs, you look a little bit of a hypocrite, I must say. But obviously Richard has a new comic that is on Fund My Comic. It's not fully funded just yet. Obviously, you know how I feel about how he's been around, Katie did, and all the degeneracy and the nonsense and all of that. But it is available to purchase on Fund My Comic if you choose to do so. Me personally, I'm not interested. But I will say that he is allowed to have his book on Fund My Comic as a platform. I keep myself consistent when I say, even if I disagree or dislike somebody, that they should be allowed to have their comic available to purchase on any platform. So again, most guys won't stay consistent. I will stay consistent on this matter. But there were some clips that came out from the John's Long Box interview that he had with Richard Embree talking about the whole ore situation. So this is coming from Student of God, saying the CG slogan debunked. Quote unquote, grab an ore is a slogan that was popularized by John Malin. In this clip, Richard explains why it's not. Let's get into the clip.
Get it to that state for these gentlemen to work there and for their work to be well received and then come out to crowdfunding. That's where the numbers are. So it's like that's where the audience is. So that's another thing with like the ore. Like why aren't you getting a big audience and helping us out? It's like, well, we didn't come from the mainstream. Like,
no one has to share their audience with you. No one has to promote you. You are not owed another person's audience or another person's, I guess, shout outs or whatever you want to call it.
That's impossible. You're not gonna be able to do that. So it's like this is fixed. That's another thing. It's like
it's always been, and you should have known this from the start.
And anytime you have any kind of like hesitation or wrong think with CG, it's why aren't you grabbing an ore, or you're not even grabbing an ore. It's just nah, dude. I'm just done. Like that headache. I just want to talk to people that want to buy my comic.
It's not grabbing ore.
Yeah.
It's do what I tell you.
Yeah.
Do what I tell you.
Yes, and that's what it's always been. It's always been that fan club of do whatever you're told by Big Bad EVS or you will be shunned and ridiculed. That's literally what's been happening to people like John's Longbox, to people like Richard Embree. And it's really disgusting that it's even happening to someone like John's Longbox, who for the most part has stayed away from all the drama nonsense. I've even told him repeatedly to stay the course of creating his comic and getting his story out to the world, because I find it to be such a great story and I want to continue reading about the Patriarch and even learning about new characters like Mary Sue in the Subterranean and things of that nature. But obviously everyone has their breaking point and eventually they will come out and voice their opinion on nonsense that you were doing towards them.
Because like I said,
Well, that's
who's been grabbing more ores than me? I've been hosting people for years. 3 nights a
industry, right?
Time.
And the craziest thing is that someone as small on YouTube as John Longbox has been, he's even been able to pull big names like Mark Miller and Ramonita Jr., I think the name was. So it's like, who is EVS really when he can't even get any sort of pull from a Mark Miller? Meanwhile, Eric July and John's Longbox could easily pull Mark Miller onto their channels and talk.
If everybody who ever came on my channel actually backed my book, everything would be funded 3 times over. But I don't ask people to do that. I get a little disappointed every once in a while, but all right, yeah, and for the most part, I'm a sucker. I'm back in your book right after we're done. I never do it live because I'm always afraid
But
to
here's the
break
thing with that, the whole equation. You know what oars are for? They're for slaves. You never get to steer the ship.
That's a fact.
You get the oar and you stick to the oar. You're not there making decisions.
Well, the Vikings weren't slaves. The Vikings weren't slaves.
But there's one person driving the boat, and it ain't you. That's
It makes some great points. I'm
what I'm
just saying.
You know,
as an analogy, it works.
with the person that's like actually steering it in the back or whatever, right? Does he go and say, "Hey, guy in the third row, what do you think I should do? Should I go to the right? Should I go to the left? I don't know. Hold on. No, you keep rowing." You know, it's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna hit a rock. You keep rowing. Keep rowing."
That's literally a great analogy for CG. Oh, let's keep staying the course. Let's keep talking about Eric July. Let's keep trying to ridicule Eric July, even though he's not paying attention to you whatsoever, even though he's doing more projects, even though he's working with more people, even though he's collaborating with more people, even though he's getting more books out than you. Yo, stay the course of continuing the drama with Eric July. That's basically what I get from this. It's crazy.
You're not.
I want to address the Lady Alley
You're here to roll. You're not here to steer. You're here to roll. Know your roll.
Exactly. But it goes on, and we're just going to keep on continuing with yet another clip coming again from Student of God. It says, how EVS controls people, the quote-unquote choke chain. Richard explains how Liam is being manipulated. Richard, quote, he can't bite the hand that feeds him.
This whole campaign is when the backers get the book. Then and only then can you touch that money.
Correct. Now, he is referencing an individual who recently claimed that the funds they were using for a book that they were supposed to be crowdfunding, he used the funds for personal expenses and bills. When you are receiving money for a crowdfunded product, you should never touch that money for anything other than what it was intended for, which was to crowdfund the creation of the book, the printing of the book, and the shipping of the book.
You can't. So like the way
That's
I
an unfair conversation though, because you're talking to Liam, and Liam.
Right. That's
Liam's a good boy. He's a good little boy. He does what he's told.
right.
That's
I don't know what he was thinking. I think he came off the reservation to talk to me.
Liam, the good little boy, is talking about starting up Dino King 2, and he's not done with Wonder Island, which is a book I've personally been waiting for about 2 or 3 years. And I bought 2 copies of it.
Brought him on his thing and shield for him like you got him 40K. Like, of course he's gonna, like, you're asking him unfair questions because he can't answer correctly because choke chain, you know? Like, that's how, like, it's crazy because this is how that's how manipulation works. You put a person in a position of power, right? And then you say, hey, you like this position? This is great. Yeah, you like this? Okay, cool. Now I take this away the minute you disagree with me. Understand? And it's like, you don't really have to say it. So when he came on here, it's like, that's the wrong person. Because he can't bite the hand that feeds him. Like, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, you're never going to get a straight answer from someone like Liam when it comes to CG, because he's been shunned multiple times, then brought back into CG multiple times by the guy who owns the trademark for Comicsgate, which is Ethan Van Sciver, which I think he actually did indeed lose the trademark, even after claiming he owned the trademark. But it goes even further than that, where you have these DMs that come out from our favorite moistback, or the moistback, I should say, Fraude Tony. The Tractor Pope, Fraude Tony, the chosen one of CG. Yeah, the same guy who is still working on the fabulous Frogman that's probably never going to come out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but when it does come out, it will be absolutely trash, because the original script was absolute trash, and I'm sure the newer script, if one was created, is going to be absolute trash, especially when you have a self-insert character that drinks monster energies just like he does. Richard Embree goes on to say, why didn't he just leave quietly? It's a simple question. Are you in CG? It's just me. I'm doing what I want to do. I let you come on and sell your books because you were CG. I overlooked the months of snide comments and crappy remarks you made about me because you were CG. I will let my audience know you are no longer CG. Of course you will. Because it's all about a cult, bro. This is literally what this is. It's an absolute cult. Agree with me or I will shun you. Agree with me or I will humiliate you. Agree with me or I will make fun of you till the end of time. And this is what it all becomes. It comes down to being that CG is indeed a cult. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. And Ethan Van Sciver is the guy that runs the whole thing. So if you ain't in good favor with Ethan Van Sciver, you ain't in the club. So I think that's all I've got for today. Like I said originally, if you're going to cry about DMs being shared and then you go ahead and share DMs, you cannot be doing that, because then you are seen as a hypocrite. So thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button, comment below if you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.